Hey you guys, welcome back to my garden. I'm gonna take you on a quick little August tour. All the things that were super heat stressed and just looking really tired are starting to perk back up. So let's walk around the garden together and see what's blooming. First, I want to show you this right here. This is the Rise Up Lilac by Proven Winners. It's a climbing rose, and I just love this. It's growing on the side of our house, and you can see my greenhouse in the background, so it just looks so cottagey and so perfect. I'm going to start this tour by walking down the sidewalk, going across the driveway to what I call our cottage garden. These are Limelight Hydrangea standards I just planted this year. They're blooming on different cycles because I bought them from different nurseries. This one right here has older blooms because it was already blooming when I purchased it, where this one had not even buds when I purchased it. So very different, but they'll be on the same cycle next year, so I'm very excited about that. I've got a hedge of Limelight Hydrangeas down there that are blooming out beautifully. I lined the driveway with lamb's ear on all four sides, behind me and here in front of me. These came from 2 plants that I divided into probably 30 plants, and they are starting to fill out really nicely. I believe these are called the Helen von Stein lamb's ear. They're beautiful. I also just recently planted the sun patience throughout the garden. My chickens have been getting into my garden, so anywhere you see drip hose that isn't covered with mulch, it's because my chickens are digging it up. I also need to get in here and do a little bit of weeding, but the weather was just so nice I wanted to go ahead and get in the garden and show you guys what things are looking like. This is Roseanne geranium. I just planted it here this year. I'm hoping that it does really well. It doesn't have a ton of blooms on it right now, but again, it is its first year and it's supposed to bloom for months of the year. I've got a little giant globe arborvitae right here, another Roseanne geranium. I've got a couple of small nepitas. I planted out some of these purple petunias. Again, my chickens have been wreaking havoc in the garden, so they've kind of torn those up a little bit. I have a butterfly bush that I transplanted here this year with some cosmos growing behind it. My arbor has wisteria growing across it, and that's gonna just continue to grow across, and that's gonna be beautiful next year. This pink rose right here is a double pink knockout rose. The Japanese beetles have been horrible this year. However, I do believe they are starting to dwindle off. It's not been quite as bad lately. So hopefully my roses will be able to bloom without them eating every single one of them. This is Cleome from seed. It's blooming out really pretty. It's kind of growing across my pathway that leads down to our goat house, but I leave it and I just push it out of the way whenever I want to walk by the path. It's really pretty as well. Here's another double pink knockout rose. It's one of the blooms. I love having the hot pink in the garden. You can see that I have a bunch of the Cleome plants coming up right here. Again, these were self-seeding from last year. Got some here and all around through here. And I have pink and white in the garden. I'll show you where my pink one is, so I'm excited to see what colors those end up being. But this is the Hydrangea standard that has the fresher blooms. It's just looking beautiful. And as this tree grows and develops, it's just going to get bigger and fuller, and it's going to be gorgeous here in the garden by the driveway. I duplicated everything on this flower bed as I just showed you over here with the nepeta, the Roseanne geranium, the sun patience, They haven't had a lot of time to fill in and grow. I left a lot of space because I didn't know how quickly my lamb's ear was going to fill out. I probably could go back in and do another layer of annuals, and I might do that with some vinca or something like that just to fill it in a little bit better. But this is some cosmos that have self-seeded in the garden. They are one of the easiest flowers to grow. They self-seed like crazy. You don't have to start them from seed, just throw them in the garden. This is a nepeta right here. And then I've got more cosmos back this direction. So we're not gonna walk the path. I'm actually gonna walk you along the grass right here. I've got this Bobo hydrangea I just put in this year. But if we step back right here again, I've got this speedwell. This is its second flush, and it actually has come back and looks really pretty. I love those blue spikes right there. I've got some dahlias back behind it right here that are white. Hopefully I get some more blooms from them. A white pugster butterfly bush right here. And then I have a bloomables rose back behind this stump. These are really pretty roses. I just transplanted them here this year. I actually bought them on clearance and had them in pots all end of last season, all winter, and just put them out finally this spring. And they're doing really well. I'm gonna have a lot of flowers on that here soon. There's a coral knockout rose. I've got another Bobo hydrangea with some spirea in front of it. I love this phlox that's growing right here underneath my chaste tree. I didn't cut back these right here. I need to go back in and do that. However, I did cut this one back some maybe a couple weeks ago, and look at the difference between these and this. This one is definitely blooming out more. So I do need to go in and cut those. But I don't even mind the spent blooms because it's like a pop of lime as well, and it still looks pretty, I think. I love having this coral rose right here. I just went in and cut a bunch of dead limbs off of it yesterday. It was getting suffocated, I think, by some other things, and so I need to make sure I do better at keeping it trimmed up and looking nice. The blooms look so pretty right now. And back behind it is this butterfly bush that always has huge butterflies on it, and I actually see one back there right now. I think it's so pretty. The layers right here. So this flower bed over here is brand new. Oh, my goats are playing. This bed we just installed. I'm really excited about how this is coming together. It's an extension of this where it stopped at the butterfly bush, and now it continues on, and I think it looks so pretty. I still have some things I need to put in the ground. But as I was doing that yesterday, it started pouring on me, so I didn't get to finish. But this pathway I put in to lead this direction to go into the vegetable garden. We have to cut out this fence panel and continue weeding inside the vegetable garden. Those are our green beans growing up on a trellis. But I want to completely redo the way I do my vegetable garden next year. So from this angle, we've got all the hydrangeas. And then we've got a peony right here that I transplanted earlier this year. I'm not sure. I think it's maybe a Sarah Bernhardt or a pink peony of some sort. I can't remember what it is. And I planted out all of this vinca. I've got a blue star juniper, a euonymus in the back. That's the green and yellow variegated plant right there under the butterfly bush. I've got a dwarf crepe myrtle. And then I've got some sun patience I need to plant out there in a pot right there. Then it goes to the coral rose and the bobo hydrangea and the spireas. And if you go from this direction, our little stone pathway leads to this bench. And we just planted this dogwood tree. It's a Kusa dogwood tree. These 3 sky pencil hollies back here. I was able to get 2 of them in the ground yesterday. I still need to get the 3rd one in the ground, but again, it started raining on me. But I have the royal burgundy barberries across right here. They're gonna stay small, 18 to 24 inches tall and wide. And then if you go back here, I have this Canyon Creek abelia right here. And I just think it is gonna be beautiful back here in front of these sky pencil hollies. It's gonna fill up this whole space, and in front of it, I've got these emerald gaiety euonymuses. Walk this direction. This is a close-up of my bobo hydrangea. I just cut back this path. I wanna add a bunch of small shrubs and other perennials because all of this was just filled with foxglove and delphinium and Shasta daisies. But once those are done, I have nothing else in here really. This was a new extension from last year. Now I'm standing on the other side of the arbor. I've got some phlox. I've got my pink cleome that is sharing a spot with my rose right here. Look how pretty this is. Here's another one right here. It's just a beautiful shade of pink. I just love this shade as well. I would love to have so many more of these. So walking this direction, I've got lots of speedwell with the white vinca in front. The speedwell's about ready to be cut back, but pollinators love it, so I've not done that yet. I have lemon coral sedum in the front here that has done extremely well. More of the white vinca, another white pugster butterfly bush. The vinca has just exploded in my garden and I love it. I'm gonna do more vinca and less petunias next year because I've learned petunias are a lot of work and the vinca I think is just as pretty and you don't have to do anything. This is a rose that I've got stuck back here. It wasn't doing well at all last year. I thought I lost it and it's come back with a couple blooms. I transplanted the Perfume Breeze climbing rose. The blooms are very, very small and I just transplanted it here, cut it back a ton because it has lots of really sharp thorns, but it's coming back and I think it's going to be gorgeous next year. Check out my pink chiffon Rose of Sharon. It's going to be even more gorgeous next year, but it's doing so well. The Japanese beetles have loved it and have eaten it like crazy. Not as crazy as my roses, but it's looking really good nonetheless. This is my part shade to shade flower bed. I've got multiple hydrangeas in here. I've got lots of hostas on the front, a few towards the back, some astilbe. That's an old hydrangea there in the back. More of the hostas. I've got a Let's Dance Sky View I just put in, but it's not blooming at all at this point. I've got some Brunnera growing. I just did all of this in the last month. We added this whole section on it. The flower bed did stop right here, or maybe it came around just a little bit like this. Yeah, it was like that. So the bench was not in any mulch. We didn't have the pathway. The Brunnera wasn't here. All of the hostas are new. I just planted out these 4 lime colored hostas just a couple days ago. I've got a pop star hydrangea that is putting on a lot of new blooms right now. I love this lace cap hydrangea. And then they circle towards the back, and I've got a viburnum back here that's going to get really tall and be a really pretty backdrop for this bench. So this is how things are looking. So I've got the sun patience over here as well. And I've got some vinca and sun patience over here with the globe arborvitaes. Now these large shrubs that you see, the largest of them all, are not actually shrubs. These are baptisia, and they have large purple spikes in the spring. They're really beautiful, and I love how they fill out the space and look like these giant shrubs this time of year. I've got some Russian sage, I've got large nepeta, some salvia, along with the baptisia, some bubblegum petunias, some sweet alyssum, and lots of sweet alyssum lining the driveway right here. I've got a bloom on some of my climbing roses up here. These are called Pearly Gates, and the blooms on these are absolutely incredible. I love this rose so much. This is their second year in the ground. This is the prettiest peachy pink color, and it fades to white. And the blooms are massive in the spring. This is a much smaller bloom than I had this spring, but they're so pretty, and they smell so good. Love that rose. Well, that does it for my garden tour today. Thank you guys for coming with me on this early August garden tour. I know things are going to continue to perk up and give us lasting beauty through the fall, especially now that those Japanese beetles are finally leaving. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate it so much. I hope that you like this video and subscribe to my channel for more gardening videos and tours to come. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys. Happy gardening.